Hi, Shadi.
Hello. Hello.
Um, we talked a little bit about bully energy or bully behavior in our last video, and that it's kind of increasing in our workplaces and with politics in our world. Give us an example in the workplace where maybe a whole team behaves or is perceived as if they are using bully energy because of certain processes. What would you give as an example?
Thank you for this. And yes, unfortunately, within the work environment, there is one department or one unit or one function that in some cases, employees tend to perceive it as someone that wants to control them, that wants to limit the way what they do and so forth. And this, in a lot of the cases, is the human resources unit and function. And the way it has been dealing with this, it's succumbing, unfortunately, to the small percentage. And what do I mean by that? Let's say you have 1,000 employee organization, and then one person said did something wrong in a particular way. Yes, it impacted the organization in a way or the other. But what happens is that because one person did a mistake, HR tend to feel afraid from this being repeated. So they start developing and designing new standard operating procedures and rolling it out to the 1,000 employees at the same time to prevent something like that from happening in the future. And then what happens with time, like you said, okay, one time is fine, but then it becomes continuous. And then HR becomes continuously issuing all of these things to start limiting and controlling the behavior of individuals, knowing, so it's as if you're telling your people, I don't trust you. Therefore, I'm going to do whatever I can to minimize that risk that's happening, instead of speaking to the issue that occurred and telling everyone, look, this is what happened. We dealt with that behavior directly. It's not impacting you all, that's fine, but we need you to be aware moving forward that this something happened, we need to be careful about it. That's a totally different discussion. That's a totally different mindset, the way you create a relationship. And this is where we need to start really raising this. We call them human resources, okay, dealing with, or people. It's our organization, they call it now people, teams, or
operations,
whatever. Yeah, all of those terminologies. But people, it means what the individual should be at the center. And what we're seeing with all of this is that, no, the individual is not at the center. The individual is looked at as a risk. And then what do I need to do to protect the organization, in this case, the organization, maybe financials, from that individual that I hired in the first place. So this is like, it's creating this, I would like to call it tension, and also multiple personality disorder. It's like when I'm recruiting you, I'm laying out all the most beautiful things and so on. The minute you're in, I'm going to start doing what? Chopping around and controlling you and making sure that you're not doing a lot of things that you want to do that might help you do your job in a better way and so forth.
Or that the SOPs or the attempt to control negative behavior also controls positive behavior.
Of course.
Because if somebody's like, okay, I can't say that, I can't do that, I can't do that, and those are fair enough, but because of the approach with these processes and requests instead of discussions, people then start to close up.
Yeah.
And then basically people are afraid to say anything.
Yeah.
And so the honest truth doesn't come out, or the issues don't come out. And so problems then move downstream and become huge. And then people are like, how did this happen? How did this huge thing happen? Well, it happened because of the approach. So in other words, maybe some leaders are saying, because I want to avoid uncertainty, I'm going to do it this way, and I don't notice the negative effects that approach is doing. I should still move away from risk, but in a way, as you said, that creates relationships and trust.
Yeah. I mean, I give quickly a small example. I was on a case, and then we were in a meeting, in a boardroom meeting, and then all of a sudden, I mean, there was something that we needed to attend to, and only two individuals were left. It was a male and a female. And then 2 minutes after, all of them just left the room. And then when I tried to inquire, they said, look, we were alone left there, you know, with all the what's happening, all the policies of HR, sexual harassment, and so forth. We felt it's better for us not to even stay in the room, because the room didn't have windows to the outside or what have you. So like they said, they felt uncomfortable to even continue the work and do few tasks inside the boardroom alone, because they were afraid of that. So you see, like we put all of those measures, and I'm not saying we should be okay with bad behavior, but unfortunately, all the measures we're putting in place are indirectly impacting good culture, good environment, where
Trust.
we can create a trust and people working together for the betterment of the organization.
Yeah. And also being responsible for their own
Of
behavior.
course.
I mean, if you've hired someone and they can't be civil, that's a hiring process issue, not an SOP. Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.